Hello everyone, welcome to Day Trade Options. Hey guys, hopefully you had a fantastic day. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you had a wonderful weekend. I had a great weekend myself, um, and had a good start to the week. Really had some very easy trades, so I'll go over. I only had a couple trades. That was it. I traded Tesla today and I didn't trade anything else. I should have jumped on the a couple really amazing trades that set up for SPX that we called out. AI, TSM. There's so many easy trades today. So I'm going to get right into it. Show you what I did with Tesla. Um, I'd met my quota on the first move up on Tesla, but I did re-enter Tesla here for I had way more percentage gain on this long trade that just kept going and going and going. Um, but I'll show you what my trades were. So first thing that happened this morning is we had a push down, and it closed above the 200 and below the cyan. So a little bit concerning. So the next candle came down, opened, came down, pushed up, started going up. So um, I entered, I think I entered one contract at first. Then I entered another contract on the push up. And when it came back, as soon as this candle started and went above the 20 EMA, and this is my long LRC level right here, I added one more, so I had three. This was a big move. This was a big move. I was in really a good amount of money on this candle. I held through this candle. I didn't exit until I think I scaled out one on the yellow. I then scaled out one on the 447, which is a level that I had marked on my chart. And the way I had marked these levels is when we when we had made when we'd made a move before we had all-time highs, I draw my fibs and I draw them like this. So I use the fib extension tool, and I kind of urge you guys to check this out. It's been fantastic for levels when we're in discovery zone, right? So trying to figure out where the stock is going to go is kind of important. You could always go by like average true range, like an ATR or something like that, or a daily true range, and and kind of guesstimate where it's going to go. You can use the LRC. That works extremely well for us as well. But what I found is when I have like a low, I'll just use this as an example, low to a high, and you see this is supposed to be done on a zigzag, like you go up and then a down, and this should give you this should give you where this is going to pull back up to, right? But what I do is I double click at the top. So I click one at the bottom, one at the top, and then I click one more time at the top. And that's how it gives me my projections. I use the 61.8, the 50, and the 38.2. And as you can see, they're still there from when I set them before. This is my 61.8 level. Whoops. This is my 50% level, which was the 447. And this one, you can kind of see the green dash line right here was my 38.2, which was my 443.50, I'm sorry, 443.60. So once I got above that, I just held. And then I exited the second one here and my third one on this push back down off of this level. I got all out of the trade. Very good trade, really good profit on this trade. And I was basically done for the day. I told the group, I was like, hey, I'm good. I've met my quota. I did more than my quota on that one push up, so I was happy. I didn't want to overtrade, didn't want to just, keep trading just to trade. So I was pretty much done. But then I saw this. So this is my big level, the 430, and this is the whole area. Really wanted to see Tesla get to here and go up. But So Tesla had this big pullback, which would have been a great trade. I did not get in it. I was done. I didn't get into any downside trades. I probably would not have attempted this because I would really have expected more of a pullback, 50% retracement and continuation. So I probably would not have ever even attempted this move. However, when I saw it come down to my 436.20 area, 436.23, this is an area I already had on my charts. I already had this in the technical analysis on in the channel in the group. And if you guys are interested in trading with our group, the link in it will be in the description down below. You can join us for free, or you can join us. We have a membership area, which is where we trade live daily. So, in any case, I noticed this came down and stopped. And I had called out to the group. I said, hey guys, pay attention to what's happening at the red LRC. It's starting to weaken. Check out what's happening with these candles. You're getting some buying pressure. We did get this candle, which kind of negated when I had called that out. I was like, oh, okay, but it did go down to my 436.23, stopped right on that, had the next candle up, next candle up, next candle up, closed over my 20 and my 200 and the cyan. So that got my interest. I entered with one Tesla trade right here. That's all I got in was one. And I held this. And I used my 20 EMA as my guide for the entire day until I hit right here. I exited on this candle. So what happened is it came up, it rejected a little bit off of the blue, came down kind of, heavy to my orange. Now I'm using my LRC version 5. If you guys are curious, this is the version 5 and I'll show you. I typically have it set at on the on one. I start with the 1 multiplier, but this is on the 2 multiplier. And so if you have it on the 1, this would be we would have already went past all of the levels. Here's where blue is. So that's why I made a second. That's why I made this one with a multiplier. And so anyhow, I traded this. I held through all this pullback. My goal was to see if I was going to get a couple closes below the 20 EMA. I was in really good profit. I wasn't that concerned. The only downside is I did only buy one, and I wish I had bought several because this was a huge trade. I got right up to about 110% profit level. So I got all the way up to, and it was like a $10, uh, 10, it was like $10.80 at the money when I bought this contract. So I bought it here and I rode it all the way up. And I told the guys, like, you know what, I'm in enough profit. I'm not going to hold anymore. I'm just going to go ahead. If I get a push back up to the blue, I'm going to get out. And that's exactly what happened. It went to the blue and I exited my trade. Now check this out. If I had held this bad boy overnight, look where we are now. Almost this much move again pre-market or aftermarket. So Tesla is on the grind, guys. The only downside now is we need some pullbacks. I'll have to go and do some new um, projections to see where this thing may be going. But man, is that thing a beast? It looks like it's going to just keep right on going until the end of the year. So if you're looking for something to trade, Tesla may be the one. Just make sure you get your good pullbacks before you enter. And so great trade there. That was it. That's all I needed. Those trades today, very simple process. The others that I had called out, let's see, well, SPX, you could have got into a really good trade. I had called this one out. I did not get into it. I know that a couple people in the group got into this and made some really good money. One or two guys got in on this trade here. This was huge. It was a big move up with SPX. Excellent job today, guys. Congrats. This was the one that we were talking about, and I didn't get in it. I should have, but I know that a couple people did. is the 607 level. We're like, man, we have got to get above 607 before anything will move. Because 607 just kept smacking us down, smacking us down, smacking us down. And I wasn't so sure that it was going to ever make it above it today simply because of the FOMC is coming up on Wednesday. And I just felt like, okay, well, maybe the market makers and the powers that be are going to just keep this thing, below the 607 until we get FOMC, and then it's just going to balloon past it. Um, and I figured what they were going to do is sell it down, get it to a nice pullback level so they can get in at a lower level and then let it go. So I do know that when it broke this level, that a couple guys did get in on the breakout, which was fantastic because that was a big move for that range, and SPX printed. I guarantee you on that. You take profit there, exit here, wait for this buying pressure coming in on this wick, close above the 20 EMA. You could have entered on this candle or this candle, and off to the races. Exit at the yellow LRC, and cha-ching is all I got to say, guys. It's that easy. Um, Another trade that came in today that we that I called out. I did not get in this one either. The only one I got in was Tesla. I was done. That was it. But I did call out all these other trades. There were so many of them. AI, it did what I thought it was going to do. It took it longer to do it, but I had mentioned to get in right here above this level. It went up. Oh, I'm sorry. Nope. I take that back. Right here. This had already happened when I had seen this. When I saw this playing out, so I had called this out to the group, and I know that we had at least one, maybe two traders hopped in. This candle rode it up. Oh, you know what? I think I am early. I apologize again. It was right here. Right here. That was your entry. Ride it up. See if you get a break above. It did pull back to this level, rejected. I would have exited on this candle, and then I would have re-entered on this candle for the move all the way to the upside. I would have exited. I would have scaled out at probably each of my LRC levels. And then when I got this, I probably would have just exited and then waited to see if it came back to the 20 EMA and take it again. In this case, still a really good, easy trade. Simple, simple, simple. And look at what it did. It did exactly what I thought. The level it was going to reach, 42.83, almost to the penny. That's what we were trying to trade to. Next one was TSM. That was between 206 and 202. I wanted to make sure that we grabbed it above and it consolidated, which makes it just an excellent, excellent trade today. This was where I was telling everybody, hey, get in either on the rejection or the move above. And it came down. When it came down and hit this red LRC right here, which actually it wasn't the red at that time. Oh yeah, it was the red. I apologize. It was the red. Um, it could be the yellow if you did this to the one. It did it with a one, but I was using the two multiplier when I was watching it. But if you're using the one multiplier, it's the yellow. When I saw this come down and hit this after it consolidated, 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 hit this, and then started going up, that was the entry. I called this out several times. I told everyone, hey, if you want to get into a good trade, that's going to be it. That's a great spot, great risk to reward. So the beauty of this trading system is if you mess up, if it doesn't work, not really mess up, but if if the price just doesn't go where we're expecting it to go when we get in and it goes back below, just take a loss. Get out of the trade and take a loss. Um, I said I would rather look for a retest. When do you wait for a retest and when not for a retest? That just kind of, man, there's so many variables, Joe. Really, So it really kind of depends on the way the market's moving. It depends on what you're, the way you're wanting to trade. For me, I really like, for instance, if we're moving up to a level and we just come right up and go through a level, and um, it just goes through the level. That's when I want to see that's a break. I want to see a retest of that level. But if we do something like this and you're just consolidating along that level this whole time, I'll get in on the breakout simply because this is already kind of doing all the testing, right? It's already gathering, it's already consolidating, it's building its momentum already. You don't sometimes, and that's really depends on you as a trader and how you want to trade it. But for me, when I have a price that's consolidating like this, and I'll go back to SPY because that may have been you may have asked that question when I was on SPY. Um, but when you see this happening and you get your break over your levels, that's for me, I'm entering right here every day, all day, 10 out of 10 times. If it goes against me, I get out. I'll just take a small loss, no big deal. I move on. But this trade, you can see what you could have got. It was a great trade, and the target level was 206 again. Um, Now, first thing in the morning, it went up close, got rejected, came all the way down, pushed back up, and then started doing this. That's what caused me to get interested in this trade. Once again, I didn't trade it, but I did call it out for the group to get in. And I think a couple people did catch it and rode it. It was a slow grinder, but it still went. If you look, I mean, this is a lot of time for this amount of movement, but it was still a great trade. You could have profited quite a bit on this. Um, Back to SPY. Let me look at that and see. Oh, so kind of the same similar scenario and this is why I would have taken this as a there you had two options here actually. Um, because it consolidated right here like this, you could take this as a breakout move. If it doesn't go, then just hop out. But look what it did do. There's your retest. That's what I would suggest if you want to just be really safe, you wait for. If that doesn't happen and this just keeps going, well then you missed it. So you have to make that decision as a trader, and there's a lot of variables as to why and how you might make that decision. That may have to come with some experience, but it also may just, for me, I think it's after I've seen consolidation, I will definitely pop into a breakout trade. Or like if I see say pre-market, something setting up, comes down, hits the level, goes up, hits the level. If I see a price come down and then shoot back above my level, my LRC, I'll take that as a breakout move. And I do take more losses when I go for breakout moves because they do go against you, especially, the first candle of the day. So if you're doing first candle of the day, super, super short leash, hop in. If it doesn't go, hop out. Or if you get a big push, take a lot of your profit off the table, scale out, leaving maybe one. If you get the continuation, just perfect. You just got a great trade. If it doesn't get follow through and starts coming back down, exit the trade and wait for a pullback and another setup. It's really simple, but hopefully that answered your question as to, when and when not to get to do break and retest. It, it really is subjective and it really does matter. There's more variables than just, it's not black and white because I have to also see what's happening in the market. Let's just say NASDAQ just came up and ES just came up, came back and retested a major level, let's say like the 60-60 today or the 60-50, and it's retesting this and pushing up as SPY's pushing over. Same thing with NASDAQ. Well, I'm gonna take the SPX trade as a breakout continuation because I'm expecting this pullback retest for NASDAQ and pullback retest for ES to uh, to just shoot this thing straight up because the futures already retested that area. So that's just another example of what may give you a maybe a heads up to trading a breakout move versus a retest. But you got a beautiful retest right here. You can't really ask for any better than this. Came all the way back down to the 607, pushed way down, buying pressure, bought all the way back up. You broke above your 20 EMA, which makes it even more beautiful because now you have a level or trending, um, a trend setting MA, right? That will then you can use as your guide whether or not you want to get out or stay in the trade for longer. Now, for me, I probably would have held all of these because I had no reason to get out until the double red right here. And then I could have tried to re-enter here. May not have got a whole lot out of it, but that would have been an entry right here. You know, you have your pullback, green, green over green, could have entered here. You know, may have got a small profit, may have even broke even or had a slight loss if you let it go against you. Um, but that's the chance you take when you're trading pullbacks. But these pullbacks have been just golden lately. We've just done extremely well. So for tomorrow, what to look for is this. Check this out. Back below back below 607 and above 606 right now. If we stay above 606, you can look for a retest, push up to 607. If we break 607 tomorrow, same thing again. Same thing again. Or you may get a push up to 607 and it may reject straight down. But that's what we have to, pay attention to. And we'll just trade the levels as they come to us. And let me see, I think we had SMCI was a decent trade right out of gates. I missed this one today, which was fine. Not the greatest price action. I don't like all this crazy wickiness, but if you had held, your exit would have been either you could have exited here, re-entered here, or if you did the very aggressive stay in it until you close twice below the two reds below the 20 EMA, you would have got out right there. So it would have given back all of that. So that just depends on how risky, how much you're willing to give back as a trader. If you get up to the highs and you start consolidating, take all your profit off the table, hold one, hold two, depending on how many you got in, and then if you get your double red, you barely lose anything. So just different ways of how different people trade, but that's how I typically trade. Um, I typically trade the double red, especially if we're extended from the 20 EMA, if you've heard me talk about that before. But you can see how many times you have these setups. I mean, check this out. Uh, snow, just snow today. Boom, right off the yellow, pushes up, closes. Next candle in, you enter. If it comes back down and closes below the 200 EMA, you exit. If it closes two times below the 20 EMA, you exit. Um, Otherwise, you just stay in, and you would have never got out of this thing. You wouldn't even had a chance. You probably would have taken your first scale out all the way up there because this thing blasted. Then your next scale out would have been the blue. Now you've run out of levels. That's where I would extend my levels. So to show you guys how I use my levels, so that's a 1. I would have then changed it to a 2 once I got beyond my overall outer band, and then the 2. That's when I changed the multiplier to 2. At that point, you would have been taking profit here, probably exiting on this red candle. Wait to see what this one does. It did start to push back up off the yellow. I probably would have waited for this candle here. You could have got in on this one because it has a second green, but I probably would have wanted a little more confirmation because of this pullback. So I probably would have waited for that one, just experience. And then you get right back in, scale out here, exit here, and that's it. Don't be afraid to trust the levels. If you trust the levels, you're going to be successful with this strategy. We do it every day, and it's just incredible. It's incredible. Um, you could have traded to the 200 right here if you wanted, because the gap was so big. Typically, I don't, I try to avoid trading into the 200 if I can, because there's so many other setups. I don't necessarily have to have every single trade on that stock or whatever. Excuse me. Um, and and also this is the next really great trade right here. You got structure there right at the yellow. Your break structure, that's your entry. I would have been prepared to enter here. I would have waited for it to clear structure on this one, because I would just want to be careful to not get a little green here and then it dump. So for me, confirmation on this one wasn't enough just to be above the 200 and the 20 and the red. Since this rejected the yellow here, it rejected the yellow there, rejected the yellow there, kind of rejected the yellow there. I would want to see it clear this structure, which was right here, and that's where I would have entered this one. If this went against you, then you exit. It's truly that simple. And when I say go against you, I'm not talking about like a pullback. I'm talking about a close. I'd want to see a close below, and that would be my exit. But then you just take this thing, you write it up to scale out here, scale out there. Um, you go up higher, you get a big red candle that comes back. Look for a push up, starts coming back down. That would be my exit. Right here would be my re-entry. Two greens above the 20 EMA, and then you take it all the way back up. You could exit at every second red if you want, but in this case I wouldn't have done that because I'm so close to the 20 EMA. I would wait for a pullback or a dual close, which would have been right here. This would have been your overall exit if you traded this strategy. So you could pretty much pick any stock out there. I was trying to get on square. You pick any stock, you break over your LRC, you hop in, you trade it, you scale out, you trade it to your level, you scale out, you get a rejection of the 94. You could have traded down to your 20 EMA, but once again, you're in an uptrend, right? So I don't like trading against a trend either. I would have waited for this pullback, re-enter right here, trade back up, scale out here, trade back up here, rinse and repeat. You can do this. Yeah. I do 0 DTE when I trade SPX. Um, Typically, I trade at the money, almost always at the money because I just want to get that good quick profit and be done. You can trade out of the money. Had a couple guys trade out of the money and they did extremely well today, considering because they have smaller accounts. So they traded um, Tesla when I traded Tesla. Matter of fact, one of my members, he's actually a friend of mine. He actually traded. He has a smaller account and he's trying to build his account up. He traded. He got in the trade before I did, and that's just I love it, man. I absolutely love it. I was like, yeah, I'm entering here. He's like, I'm already in. So he was probably about 5% above me on this trade right here. He entered, I think, off of this 436. I think he entered. I think he may have entered here or here. I entered up here, so we were really close. But we rode this thing. Um, I think he exited. He exited early though. He took his profit, I think all of his profit, I believe, here on the second red, and I held mine all the way. But I did have a cushion because believe it or not, my first trade was almost double my second trade. And my second trade went from here to here, to here. So that's only because I bought one and this one I bought 3, and so it was 3 times, right? But you could go and look at any stock. I don't know if you're looking at any stocks today, but and if you'd like me to, I can look at some with you that you were thinking about trading or you did trade. Um, but they typically set up, really, really, really well. The one thing I want to tell everybody today, everybody that comes in and watches this, be careful tomorrow. Tomorrow could be a crappy, 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 choppy day. So if you're getting into trades, AVGO, oh, that was a beast. I missed AVGO today. I missed that one. That was a beast today. Look at that setup. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yep, that was a good one. I had that one on my charts. I just didn't get in it because I was already in the other, and I should have really got into every one I called out. I probably would have tripled my profits today, but I didn't. I don't like to get too greedy, I guess. I like to just trade, meet my quotas, and move on. But the this is absolute perfection. What you're looking for, Joe. I mean, it's right there. I mean, hopefully you can see that pre-market. Nice. You even had this. I don't even know if this was a fake candle, but look where it went to. Yellow, shot straight back up, held here. You got all of this. Market starts, you get a push down right to the cyan and above the 200 EMA. Gosh, it doesn't get any easier or cleaner. And you get this move up, you enter on this candle. That's it. You close, you wait for this close. You could take the breakout, but it's kind of tough to take these breakouts because you take this one, this thing could go whoo, so far down, you'd be at a big loss before you know it. But enter right there. That's it. You could scale out here, scale out here, scale out here. No reason to even get out on any of these. Scale out up here. Get your second red. Exit. Wait and see if you get a 20 EMA pullback. You didn't. It kept going right through the 20. You did come back down to the yellow. These are key things to watch for too. Like say you got in this trade, right? And you took this up here and you caught all of that. But then you're noticing while you're just trading other things or watching other stocks, all this time goes by and you notice that it comes all the way down and stops at the yellow. You get a big green push up, comes back down, right? Next green, next green. You could literally trade this and then hold your 20 EMA the entire way. You may exit on that one, but since you're not breaking the structure to the left, you could be a little bit more risky and see if you get continuation, which you kind of did. Of course, if you traded this, you're not making any money at all until here, right? Just because you're basically just going sideways. But as far as trading the strategy, when we're in the middle of a strategy or where you can't see everything else, right? The only thing you can trade is the strategy and your rules. If your rules are you come down, you reject, you push back up, you take the second green, that's what you can get. That's what you do, and that's what you see. You don't want to Monday night quarterback this or hindsight it and go, well, that wouldn't have been good until get in over here. We don't know that when it's happening live, right? You'd get in here and you have to just deal with the circumstances that you're in. This one you could have exited, re-entered again. May not have been the greatest trade after this, but this portion would have been fantastic. This portion was absolutely beautiful. Enter here, exit here, re-enter here on this candle, exit on your second red, which was the push all the way down. I would have entered back on this one because this was my green push up, my next green, hold, hold, hold. No reason to get out. you don't get two consecutive reds, go up two consecutive reds, that's your exit. So no, AVGO was gorgeous. I was watching it. It was up in my upper right grid, and I looked up at it, and I just kept shaking my head. Oh, I do know another one that I didn't get in today, and that was Amazon or AMD. I wanted AMD right out of the gates. Of course, it just dumped pre-market, but right here, I wanted to enter this as a put right out of the gates and just see where it went. Because honestly, I think AMD, it hasn't got there yet. It's almost there though. I think it's going to 122 or at least maybe even 120. There's like no levels left for it except for this level. I'll go to my 4-hour chart. Yikes. Look at this. So here's our 4-hour chart. We had one move here at the 128.205, and that's why I have that level. And we almost made it down to it. After that, we have 116, 116, 117. You could possibly look at some of these pivots, like, but they're not really major pivots. So if you're looking for something long term, realistically, you're looking at possibly getting down to 117. Next level would be 110. It's just a very, very weak stock, and it has been for quite some time. Once it hit this peak, that was it. It's just been going downhill ever since. And I've been running a long LRC, to guide me with this trade. And oh, that was another thing. Take a look at this. Every single day, you can run um, trend lines, and when you break the trend line, you enter. Check this out. I'm on a 30-minute now, but you can do this on a 5, a 2. Look at that. Pre-market, run a trend line. If you break it, look what you get almost every single day for a while now. So this morning I had drawn this, and I wanted to take if it broke below. Well, pre-market it slammed it already, and then it went all the way down. It did try to make it a rebound. It did rebound back up to the 127 area. So interestingly enough, I'll keep an eye on this tomorrow and see if we get another consolidation from here up and another dump. So like every day you could profit very, very well on the dump each day on AMD. You got one here, it pushed back up. I wouldn't hold because you see what's happening. You get these big dumps and then it kind of rebounds. Just take your profit and move on. You know, just something, that's the way I would trade it. But anyhow, that's about it. If you have anything else that you'd like me to look at, let me know. If not, I am going to hop off and get some other things done. But man, just such an easy strategy to trade, easy day, really good profits. I'll do my markups. I'm going to put them in the I will put them in the use ThinkScript form as well. But anyhow, I really appreciate it. I hope you had a great day, and I will see you on the next video. Take care, Joe.